Have you ever wondered why breakups feel like a death, yet life continues on? It's a curious predicament, isn't it? One moment, you're sharing laughs and dreams. The next, you're left navigating a sea of emotions on your own. This journey can be daunting, confusing, even heartbreaking. We're here to shed some light on this complex topic of relationships and breakups. We'll explore the different paths people tread after a split. But remember, how you respond post-breakup can drastically affect your healing process. The first scenario, remaining friends with your ex. Is it a wise choice or a ticking time bomb? Now, there's an age-old debate about whether or not you can truly be just friends with someone you shared a romantic past with. On the one hand, it does offer a certain level of comfort. This is someone you've been intimate with, someone who knows you inside out. You've shared laughs, tears, and everything in between. That bond doesn't just disappear overnight, but let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Emotional confusion can be a real kicker, especially if one person still harbors feelings for the other. This could potentially lead to a roller coaster of emotions and even rekindle the relationship, which may not always be the best course of action. On the flip side, a friendship with an ex can provide a level of understanding and support that's hard to find elsewhere. It's a delicate balance, one that requires honesty with yourself and your ex. Our second scenario is becoming enemies. What happens when love turns into hate? When a relationship ends, it's not uncommon for the once harmonious couple to become arch nemesis. Sometimes this shift is a form of emotional release, a way to channel the pain of a breakup into something tangible, something you can fight against. It's a cathartic process, a purge of sorts, transforming love into loathing. But there's a flip side to this coin. With this transformation comes the risk of festering resentment. The negative energy can consume you, gnawing away at your happiness, leaving behind a bitter shell of your former self. And let's not forget the collateral damage. A love-turned-hate situation can put mutual friends in awkward positions, forcing them to pick sides in a battle they never asked to be part of. In the grand scheme of things, becoming enemies with an ex can be a double-edged sword. It's a path filled with bitterness, but sometimes it's the only way to cope. The third scenario finds us in the neutral zone. What does it mean to feel nothing for your ex? Well, let's explore that, shall we? Being neutral towards an ex means you've reached a point where their presence, absence, or actions don't stir up any strong emotions in you. It's like seeing a stranger on the street. You simply acknowledge and move on. The upside? Emotional freedom. You're not chained to the past, and there's no residual bitterness or longing. You're free to focus on the present and the future, but there's a flip side. This neutrality might border on apathy, making you indifferent not just to your ex, but perhaps to potential new relationships too. It might make you question if you ever truly loved, if it was so easy to slide into indifference. So while neutrality might seem like the safest option, it's not always the most fulfilling. It's a balancing act, just like everything else in life. Neutrality might seem like the safest option, but it's not always the most fulfilling. Our fourth scenario, occasional hookups. Does it alleviate the pain or prolong it? Now let's delve into an intriguing yet complex scenario. Occasional hookups with an ex. On the surface, it seems like an easy solution to the loneliness post-breakup. A familiar body, a familiar touch, it can be a comforting band-aid on a fresh wound. But remember, it's just a band-aid, not a cure. On the flip side, it could be a recipe for emotional confusion. Old feelings can resurface, blurring the lines between past and present. You may find yourself stuck in a limbo, not entirely moving on, yet not entirely going back. Moreover, this dynamic can be a roadblock to new relationships. It can prevent you from opening up to new people, new experiences, and ultimately, new love. So while the idea of occasional hookups with an ex can be tempting, it's a path fraught with emotional landmines. It's a tempting path, but one that can easily lead to a cycle of pain. Our final scenario, no contact ever again. Is it the cleanest break or the hardest to bear? Picture this. You've decided to sever all ties, to permanently close the book on a chapter of your life. It's a bold move, no doubt. The benefits, a clear break. No emotional baggage, no messy entanglements. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's the challenge of completely letting go. The memories, the shared experiences, the laughter, and the tears. They all linger, like ghosts in a deserted house. And then there's the impact on mutual friends, shared responsibilities, maybe even pets. It can get complicated, to say the least. Yet, many choose this path. Why? Because it offers a chance to start anew, to rebuild, to grow. It's like pressing the reset button on a game. Only this time, you're the player and the game is life. It's a harsh path. But sometimes, it's the only way to truly start anew. So, we've explored 5 post-breakup scenarios, each with its pros and cons. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. First, there's the possibility of remaining friends. It's a noble pursuit, but it requires a strong emotional foundation and mutual respect. Then we have becoming enemies, a path filled with bitterness and resentment, which can be destructive if not handled with care. We've also considered the neutral zone, a middle ground where you're neither friends nor enemies. It's a path that requires emotional maturity and acceptance of the past. Then there's the scenario of occasional hookups, a tantalizing yet potentially complicated option. It's not for everyone, and it requires clear communication and boundaries. Lastly, we've looked at the option of not seeing or talking to one another ever again. It's a tough road, but sometimes it's the healthiest option, especially when the relationship was toxic. Each scenario we've explored comes with its unique challenges and benefits. There's no one-size-fits-all solution here. What's crucial is self-awareness and emotional honesty. You've got to understand your feelings, your ex's feelings, and the dynamics of your past relationship. Only then can you choose the path that's best for you. Remember, no path is perfect, but with self-awareness and honesty, you'll find the one that's right for you. Until next time, navigate your relationships wisely.